Welcome back to Eliances Heroes, where heroes in business align. To be part of our super community and find out more about Eliances, visit www.Eliances.com. Now, back to our super host, David Kogan, founder of Eliances.
That's right, and we just had on Brian Basin, the founder of and CEO of Bark Internet Safety, and later on, too, make sure you stay tuned because we've got Quincy Jones coming on, so make sure you stay tuned. And by the way, thank you for the feedback we continue to have when we had Mo Vaughn on, the former Boston Red Sox player. Make sure you go to Eliances.com, that's Eliances.com. It is the only place where entrepreneurs align. Well, imagine this, growing up in the family business and seeing the amazing growth that has taken place. And I got to tell you, I'm just getting so hungry even thinking of the next person now that we are going to interview. And he is a hero in the seafood industry. We have with us Roger Berkowitz. He is the CEO of Legal Seafoods, and you could reach him at legalseafoods.com, or, of course, we'll have the link on our website, Eliances.com. Roger, how has it been like being surrounded your entire career with lobster and seafood?
Well, not bad, David. You know, it's Neil Simon did a play, Last of the Red Hot Lovers, and the main character always had to put perfume, a little bit of perfume on his hands. But I grew up really a little bit smelling like fish, so you get used to it.
Now, you started working at the age of 10 in your family business. Tell us
Yes.
about that and what you learned from at the age of 10 that you are now using now as the CEO.
Yeah, well, it's a great question, and my father worked long hours. He had a fish market in Inman Square, Cambridge, and if we wanted to see him, we really had to work Saturdays or after school or school vacations, and so it was part of, the opportunity to see him, and also we didn't really appreciate it at the time, but we also got a chance to learn about business at a very early age. So I can remember being 10 years old behind a fish counter on a milk crate waiting on trade, and for me, it was kind of fun, and I got to meet a lot of different people, which I suppose at the end of the day was the thing that really excited me about business, the opportunity to come in contact with so many different kinds of people.
Could you ever have imagined at the age of 10 being in the business, working along your father, now being the CEO, and having built it to over 4,000 employees?
That would have been the furthest thing from my mind. Going back to Inman Square at that time, we were just trying to earn a living, and we were just trying to do it. In a way, the family culture was, if you're going to do something, do the very best you can. My grandfather got us started in the grocery business, and he purveyed meats and produce. And when my father got into the fish business, he opened a fish market adjacent to it. It was all about quality. It had to be the best. You never, ever compromised.
And we're not compromising here either on the Eliances Hero Show because you're listening to me, David Kogan, host of the Eliances Hero Show. Make sure you go to Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com, the only place where entrepreneurs align. And we have with us Roger Berkowitz, the CEO of Legal Seafoods. Make sure you go to LegalSeafoods.com. So tell us about, first of all, is it possible for anyone to ever get tired of eating lobster?
Probably not. And, the great thing about seafood is that there are so many cultures that have different recipes for seafood in general that you really can't get tired of it. It can be New England seafood. It can be Asian style. It can be Spanish style. There are just so many variations to it in terms of flavors that it's really hard to get tired of seafood. But, a plain boiled or steamed or even microwave lobster you can do at home you can't get tired of that with a little bit of melted butter.
Now, you have many restaurants, I think around 35 restaurant locations, so most people would assume that Legal Seafoods is in the restaurant business, but that's not actually the only industry, the only that you're in. So share with our audience what other things you do.
Well, it's kind of interesting. I mean, at first blush, we really are known for our restaurants, but at the heart of what we do, we're really in the fish business. And what we do, and it really goes back to those early days in terms of retail. Today we have a fish processing plant, and what we do is we source, we handle, we value add in that plant. We have a laboratory there, so we really are trying to be the very best at seafood that we can be. We're best known again for the restaurants, but over the course of the last several years, we have our chowder. We have a really well-known clam chowder that's out nationally, and we're putting more products out on a national basis. So at the core, we're in the fish business. We just have a number of different channels that we can distribute on.
Now, people can order fish over the internet from you, correct?
Yes, absolutely. The Eliances.com. So it's kind of interesting. We've evolved. Years ago, I started a mail order company, and we ship fresh lobsters and live lobsters and fish wherever you want to go. But I've been experimenting with something over the course of the last few years, and it's something called Nitro Fresh. And what I do is I take impeccably fresh seafood and put it under nitrogen at its peak, and then we ship it out. And you get this. You put it right in your freezer, and then if you're gonna use it, you have up to 9 months to use it. But because it is frozen under nitrogen and at its peak of quality, you have a spectacular product. And it's convenient whenever you want to use it. So there's another way. If you live, let's say in Iowa, an example, you don't have access to fresh quality product or a purveyor that you use on a regular basis. All you have to do is get this, and you will have fish that's as good as any fish served in any restaurant on any coast.
Nitro Fresh, how did you come up with that?
It was kind of interesting. I get really nervous when people handle our fish product that's not in our restaurant. I don't know if they're going to mishandle it, they're going to keep it out too long. So I figured, what would be the best way of doing it? Well, I knew that nitrogen is a very expensive way of freezing, and I do a lot of traveling, and I see different people doing things. I was actually in Hobart, Tasmania, and I saw them using nitrogen on oysters. I couldn't believe it. And they had me try it in a blind tasting, and the oyster, I couldn't tell the difference between an oyster that was just shucked and one that had been put under nitrogen. So what that said to me is, if I could take really incredibly fresh product and freeze it at its absolute peak, then I could send it out wherever it happens to be, and people are going to be able to experience top quality product and not worry about who's handling it or where it went.
Absolutely amazing. Roger, can you share with us a secret of what the best way for someone in college, what they could do now to help go on that right path to make a difference in the world and revolutionize industries and food and different things like you've been doing, your entire life?
Well, it's kind of interesting. One of the things that I've learned over time is really surround yourself with really smart people. And when really smart people say things, keep yourself open to criticism and what they have to say. And then you're going to start to hear a theme, and that's going to reinforce some of your own thoughts about what you should and should not be doing. So that's one thing. The other thing is persevering. If you have an idea or you have a goal, there's something you want to do, and you really have thought long and hard about it, sometimes it takes a little longer to get there, but don't abandon that.
Excellent. Well, you know what? We want to surround ourselves with you. I can't wait to go to lunch with you to one of your many restaurants. Roger, you provide not only great food, but a great experience with your company. That's a hero. Roger Berkowitz, CEO of Legal Seafoods. Make sure you go to LegalSeafoods.com and continue to stay tuned with Quincy Jones.